Hey, welcome in. We are Biocomparison, and we are going to be talking about Thanksgiving and biohacking for Thanksgiving. So, we're going to have a very impromptu little meeting here as we talk about how you can biohack during the holidays. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, biohacking during the holidays is important. You're going to want to keep your physical abilities up. You're going to want to keep your endurance up, and you're going to want to keep an eye on how much you're eating. There's a lot of sweets that go on during the holidays, a lot of salty foods, savory foods, which is fine. This is a great time for you to have that window. So let's first talk about building up the tolerance for that window. When you're approaching a holiday season, it's often recommended that you keep an eye on your body, where it is, your water intake, and the amount of exercise that you're doing. Now, the reason you're doing this is because it is to be expected that you will be eating more foods that are going to be higher in calories, higher in sugars and carbohydrates. And you're going to want to counteract this basically just by having a deficit in some of the calories, the sugars, and the carbs before the holidays begin and maybe after the holidays wrap. That's why in January, gym memberships go up drastically because people want to continue to have healthy bodies, but they know during the holiday season, they're going to be far more susceptible than in January to eat sugary foods. So keep an eye on what's going on with the calorie intake, the carbohydrates, and the sugars. Additionally, keep an eye on your water intake. If you're drinking enough water, this will be really good for you to help process these foods. Also, the water intake will help cleanse your system. It will help your neuration system. It will help you with all elements of being healthy, particularly if you're going through problems such as GERD or whatnot, by having some of these savory and sugary foods, particularly late at night when you're laying down. You're going to want to keep an eye on your water. Water could really minimize a lot of the risk associated with a lot of high sugar foods and carbs. So keep an eye on that aspect to the best of your ability. Now, there's trackers, things like watches. Your phone can count your steps. These are free applications that you can download right now. Do it right now as we're talking. Look for some on the App Store. If you're driving and listening to this, don't worry about it. But these are ideas of things that you can do to really help you out. So keep this in mind because it could be a great source of information for you on what you're doing with your body and how your body's performing in the wake of all of these extenuating forces of calories. Okay, next, let's talk about exercise. So exercise is going to be vital for you as you are beginning your time in the holiday season. If you don't exercise, that's okay, but I would recommend having a plan either after the holiday season, preferably before, and if you can, during. So during can be something as simple as twice a week, I'm going to take a walk for 20 minutes. That can be a very helpful way to exercise, burn quite a few calories into the hundreds, and help you to continually keep moving, keep your blood flow going. You could instill things like massage or yoga. These are helpful ways where you can open up and give your internal organs a little bit of a break, some breath and oxygen and blood flow. This would be helpful for you. Again, water. But ideally, if you can move and do some sort of high intensity interval training, which is pretty helpful for a quick burst of workout and calorie burning, particularly during your sleep, then you will be in a pretty safe place while you're eating a lot of these sweets. So let's talk about the types of foods you're eating and why you eat them and how you should feel, because this is probably the most important part of the video, is talking about the psychology of eating. So when you're eating foods, and I learned this from a registered dietitian, if you are enjoying the food, you will process the foods far better. So if you're feeling a level of guilt, or if you are having a hard time with letting yourself embrace the idea of eating a lot of foods during the holiday season, you are putting yourself in a place where you are very susceptible to potentially putting on more calories as fat and storing it as fat versus letting them just pass through your body, because your brain is not going to recognize them as waste that needs to leave your body. It's going to be extra stress and cortisol added in. So what you need to do, and what is recommended, is to actually enjoy your foods, actually remove the aspect of shame and guilt while you're eating these foods, and that should significantly help you process the foods, not store them as fat, and also really help you out with the ability to stay in good graces of your health, not just with the physical fitness and endurance, but also with the aspects of mental health, the aspects of blood work, the aspects of how it's affecting your kidneys, your gallbladder, your spleen, your arteries. All that is going to weigh into how your brain will process and store this, which is pretty far out there. Sometimes it's a little bit above my head to think about the brain having the ability to counteract all of these different sorts of ingredients and make a chemical reaction. But then think of a multivitamin. When we eat and process a multivitamin, often it's a small little concoction that sends triggers, and signals to the brain to allow them to really utilize the ability to de-stress or create a certain reaction. We think of medication and we have no doubt about it, but really what is medication doing besides a concoction of small things sending signals to the brain to respond a particular way? So think about that the same way with your food, even more so, and also your psychology behind it. So let's go ahead and recap some of these ideas. So ideally, you're going to want to up your water intake. You want to make sure you're getting plenty of water. That's going to be the most simple and important thing that you can do, other than the last thing we will talk about. So water is going to be number one. Number two, you want to keep an eye on what you're eating before and after the holiday season. So keep an eye on that. And as we wrap up, we'll talk a little bit more about what that means. Number three, another thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you are following a specific workout plan, either before or after. This is really important for you. So make sure that you are doing this. And then finally, what you're going to want to try to do is make sure that you are having a great psychology behind eating. So please do these things. And if you do them, you should be in a good place. It should really help you out. It should help you to mitigate the risk associated and help you to follow all of the right plans that are necessary for you to maintain a healthy body. So please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment if any of this information has been helpful for you. We're here for you during the holiday season. We're here for you after, before the holiday season. We want to make sure that you get the right tips for biohacking, how it can affect your body, how it can help you be strong, healthy, fit, feel good, mentally, physically, emotionally. Really, biohacking is a great way to retrieve natural endorphins and express them throughout the body. It's also a great way to get your brain cells back if you've lost brain cells in the past. So keep in mind all aspects of biohacking, and hopefully you've enjoyed listening to this video, and we will be back next time. So we will see you very, very soon. Be well.